Hey guys, what's up? It's Megan, and today I'm going to demo some poses for you using the Bowspring methodology. And so these poses in particular that we're going to focus on today are basically poses that are being done in the all fours position. So we'll do all fours and crouching cat and so forth, so some different variations there. And so one of the reasons why I have adopted this particular system of yoga is that I'm really pleased with the physical alignment, and so this practice to me is the most therapeutic that I have ever experienced. And so one of the reasons for that is that we're replicating the all fours position in essentially every posture, because we do all the poses with the knees bent, creating anterior tilt to the pelvis. And so when the knees are bent in the postures, it's essentially replicating the all fours position. And when the head of the femur is most optimally aligned is when we're in all fours. So that's one of the reasons why I find this particular practice so beneficial, is for the therapeutic benefits. The other is the fact that it's so strong, and it's one of those practices that I feel like will carry me into my old age, allowing me to do everything that I want to do in my daily life, my activities like surfing and running and biking and hiking and all of those things that we would like to do for a very long time. So that's another reason why I'm really excited about this particular practice. So I'm seated here in this hero's variation. I'm using a block to lift and prop my pelvis upon, and so by doing so, I again create more of the anterior tilt to the pelvis, and then I can place the hands in a doming fashion to the tops of the thighs. And so when the hands are domed, the fingertips or the fingers are not hyperextended. We actually curl the fingers in a bit, so just the nails, the tips of the nails are pointing down to the floor, to the body, whichever we're having contact with. And so from this posture, I'm going to come forward. I'm going to place dome to bright to the mat, and I'm going to come into all fours. So as I arrive in this all fours position, I'm going to place the hands so that they're slightly wider than the shoulders, but the wrists are going to stack directly underneath the heads of the arm bones. The knees are just slightly wider than the hips, with the back toes curling under. So I want to fill into the thoracic portion of the spine, so I initiate the primary curvature to the begin. I then can draw my pinky and my thumb towards one another and work an external rotation of the upper arm bones. Moving down towards the feet and the legs, I move into the feet and actively press. I'm not over engaging, but I'm just pressing down through the big toe, the toe mounds, the pads of the feet. And then the knees will press wide, and as the knees press wide, I start to bring in more of the secondary curvatures of the lumbar and the cervical. And I also begin to mound the glutes towards the sacrum as I lift the tailbone. And then I'm going to extend back, so spring loading. So the hips will move back towards the heels. I still continue to press the knees wide, lengthening and toning the belly, energetically dragging the hands back, elongating the whole channel, the torso, extending up through the crown of the head. And then I can come back forward into the all fours position. I now move to crouching cat. In crouching cat, I keep the heads of the arm bones gliding forward so that I'm not collapsing and allowing the heads of the arm bones to drift back towards the back of the mat. Heads of the arm bones are going to glide forward. The hips are going to move back. I press the floor away, filling in the primary curvature of the thoracic. I can then draw my pinky and my thumb towards one another and externally rotate the upper arm bones. Toes engage, knees press wide. And then I'm going to just move a little bit organically here. So I'm just going to kind of bounce and spring. It's another thing that we do quite a bit with the Bowspring, is there's a spring in your step, right? So we're moving, we're bouncing, there's hopping, pulsing, and all the postures. And I find it to be very invigorating, and so actually increases the energy. And whenever I come to a practice and I feel a bit tired, fatigued, it's sure enough, as soon as I'm done with the practice, I feel re-energized again. Okay? So here we are in crouching cat. Again, I've got heads of the arm bones gliding forward, hips gliding back, knees bent, feet are about to the width of the sticky mat and the knees are going to press wide apart. I'm now going to come into side cat. Side cat, I'm going to rotate the heels to the right, still keeping the bend to the knee. I dome the left hand. So there's very little weight even here. It's just a doming action. So again, it's not hyperextended. Doming, so the tips of the fingers pressing down to the floor. One of the other things that we really work on in this style of practice is filling up the ribs. And so finding a fullness there. I'm going to keep my tailbone lifting and my groins back. I'm going to gaze to my back foot for a moment and start to fill into the left upper rib cage. Then, once I get the fullness there, I can lift the left arm, bringing the chin in line with the sternum. Hand to the back of the head, elbow draws in towards the nose, groins back, back of the heart full, and I'm going to do a few little pulses here. Coming back upright, I can then turn base ribs up, curling back, and then release. Dome to bright, back to the cat. I then pivot the heels left, doming the right. Again, I'm gazing back to the back feet, filling up the right upper ribs, filling them full. Then I can start to unfurl. Right arm lifts, hand to head, elbow draws in, thoracic full, primary curve established, groins back, and then I pulse. Left ear towards left shoulder. And I turn base ribs up. And then release. Dome to bright, back to the cat. Back cat next. Pivoting heels right. I dome the left. I step the left foot back. Left hand lifts. Again, hand to head. Elbow in. I'm going to turn the base ribs up, keeping the groin soft, and then I pulse. Sit back towards the heels, lift, back towards the heels, and lift. Coming back to center, dome to bright, back to the cat. Then pivot heels left, doming right, groins back, tailbone lifting, right foot steps, right arm lifts, groins back, hand to head, elbow in. Turn base ribs up, chin stays in line with the sternum, and then we pulse. And then release, dome to bright, and back to the cat. And then I'll release to the all fours position and coming back to my seat. And so again, those are a few poses from what would be the level 1 syllabus. And so some basic introductory poses to get you familiar with the practice a bit. And I'll be doing more sequences like this, so just a few minute sequences just to really kind of get people on board with the alignment. It is a new style of practice and teaching, and it's the best that I found yet. I'm really loving it, and again, I feel very strong, and it allows me to do all the athletic endeavors that I wish to engage with. So thank you so very much for taking the time to check it out. And if you haven't already, go to my website at Meg's Yoga, and you can navigate around, see what I have to offer there. I do some online coaching and one-on-one privates. If you have an interest, drop me a line, and have a beautiful evening.